onto your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer.
What is going on, entertainers? So today I'm coming to y'all with another video. So sorry you guys about the audio in the last video. I literally do not know what happened. I didn't adjust anything, no nothing. So I apologize. Okay, so I want to give a little bit of recap some of the stuff I talked about in the last video. I did listen to it. The audio went in and out, but not to the point where you guys cannot hear everything I was saying. Let's first start with the Tebow interview. Tebow, you shouldn't have did this. The reason why I went off in my last video about Tebow is because Tebow was not a main character. So you were not there a lot of filming. So how would you know of anything? Dan and Predators like Dan, they move in a certain type of way. He made sure that Tebow was the one that interviewed him because he knew that Tebow would go light on him. Him and Tebow probably have a great relationship up until this day. So that's why he made it okay for him to do the interview. Now, Boogie, who is Tebow, says that he reached out to Dan for the interview. I think it was the opposite. I think that the Hollywood Reporter reached out to Dan, and then Dan said, I don't want you guys to interview me. I'll do the interview on your platform. Can I have a co-star that works with me that I'm cool with to interview me because I'm getting ripped up online and I ain't that type of person. That's what I really think happened, to be honest. And they're just trying to save face as if, you know, they just contacted Tebow. Like, come on now. Why ought everybody in Hollywood Reporter could have contacted to interview him? It's Tebow. Like, no shade. I'm just saying, like, I haven't thought about him in so long. So when I seen him, that's why I gagged, because I kept seeing people in the comments talk about Tebow. I'm like, y'all playing. It's because y'all see a dreadhead nigga, y'all think it's another dreadhead nigga. And it really was him. So that's what I think about the whole thing. When it comes to the interview, just in general, I hate how he throws Disney under the bus. Even though Disney is sick, which I know Disney isn't golden, y'all. I just want to mention that. Stop trying to deflect. We're not talking about Disney. We're talking about Nick. We're talking about your shows on Nick. I hated how he wasn't asked in specifics about the shows and its humor. I really wish we got a little bit more of that, meaning like certain jokes, do you think they were inappropriate? That wasn't asked. Certain actions of the show, do you think it was inappropriate? That wasn't asked. All that was focused on is how he treated some of them during filming and also some of the stuff that happened with Drake Bell, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when he did get emotional, I still didn't even blink an eye. I don't feel like it was sincere. I feel like it was just pure cap to sort of gain a little bit of sympathy. He still did not look into the camera, which showed that he was not sincere whatsoever. He kept looking down. And in my opinion, he led the interview more than Tebow did. He might as well have read internet questions that we all had for him. That would have made a lot more sense than to have Tebow do the actual interview, because I was just watching it like, who's doing the interview here now? Because he was like leading the pack. Now, when he mentions diversity, if we're going to be talking about diversity, his shows, in my opinion, were not the most diverse. iCarly had like a couple black characters, Tebow being one of them, who was not even a regular. So was it really that diverse? No. Victoria's, one or two black characters. Andre was one of them. Sam and Cat, I don't remember a black character on there. I'm just saying. So you're saying, oh yeah, I remember your set being one of the most diverse. I'm like, oh my God, like you cooning so hard, man. It's not even funny. Where are your tap shoes, man? Where are they? Now let's talk about some of the aftermath after this interview was dropped, and also the third and fourth part of the docuseries. You guys all saw how the Ned Declassified star kind of made fun, and the cast was kind of laughing at some of the stuff that he went through. Now, he did go and apologize and said, I was being an idiot today. No way around it. I feel horrible that my dumb A was even speaking about this without seeing it. That's the problem. Y'all be watching these little 20-second clips and swear y'all know what y'all be talking about. Watch the full thing. So he watched a snippet and thought he knew what the whole thing was about. And if you watch the full thing, you know you couldn't make no joke about any of that situation. Because imagine you being 14 and being SA'd and not knowing who to tell because you don't want to lose your job because you really want to be in the industry. I watched Quiet on Set tonight and ran, and I am horrified by the gravity of what Drake and others shared. Truly heartbroken about what my fellow actors went through. I can't believe they weren't protected. I'm sorry for compounding any hurt. Okay, now you guys all know the situation with Peck, with Brian Peck, and the Disney situation. Speaking of that, apparently the director of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was the one who recommended Brian Peck to be able to work on the episodes that he did. So he was the main person responsible for having Brian Peck on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. His name is Richard Cornell, and this was the letter of support that he wrote for Brian Peck. He said, "I'm writing you this letter to let you know that Brian Peck has not been only a friend, but an associate of mine for the past 19 years. I say associate because it's been my pleasure to direct shows that Brian has been a crew member on. And I assure you, a crew member of the highest integrity, professional behavior, and flawless workmanship. I have a producing/directing background of over 621 TV episodes, and Brian was the finest dialogue coach I've worked with, loved and respected by his peers. Brian's presence on stage always brought and added boost to the day's work. I think you should also know that Brian has the number one most requested dialogue coach among the young therapists that not therapists, but what's the word? It's the word, because I can't read it properly, y'all, because that damn thing is such bad ink and font. I know it doesn't say therapist. It says it's the theater word for an actor that I directed and easily the most popular and trusted among their parents. What bothers me already with this letter, they keep talking about how he was in a work type of environment and how he was as a worker. We're not talking about how he was as a worker. We're talking about personally, because a lot of stuff he did wasn't on set. His loyalty and willingness to help a fellow actor or crew member was also outstanding. Many times I've seen him perform above and beyond the call of duty, and it will be my pleasure to not only work with him again, but also recommend him for any future work. I'll be honored to attach my name to his recommendation. So he recommended him, Richard Cornell, the director of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I'm wondering if the twins will ever speak out about this, because I know one of the twins, I believe Cole, he's been really adamant on sort of talking and speaking out when he feels like injustices are wrong. So the twins are not the ones to kind of keep their mouth shut on anything negative in regarding them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did speak out. I'm aware of the charges being brought against Brian. I must tell you honestly that Brian is kind, fair, honest man who deserves a second chance and who I believe is aware of the mistake he's made and will forever make good on a chance to prove himself worthy of the leniency of the court. Please consider probation for Brian. I assure you, actually guarantee you that Brian is a man of his word and will never dishonor an agreement made with the court. He has taken full responsibility for his mistake, which he didn't, and will be forever regretful of it. Please give him a chance to make good on his word of rehabilitation and display that his restitution is real. Thank you for the time and consideration of this matter. Should you ever need to contact me further information for my knowledge and recommendation of Brian's character, please don't hesitate to do so. And once again, this was written by Richard Cornell, the director of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So what made Brian Peck so powerful too, he was so connected in the industry that it would be hard to sort of take him down, I guess. And that's why I feel like Drake was so scared to say anything like earlier on. Now, Alexa, you guys, who's in the documentary, she has a YouTube channel. She reacted to all of it, which I watched in full. And she was not here for the apology. She didn't like it. She felt like Tebow was being used, and she felt like Dan did it strategically by having Tebow, a black man and a black character in a show that he produced and directed, to be the one to interview him, so that way the media could react in a more sympathetic type of way towards him, but it didn't work because we all saw straight through it. The moment 3 minutes in, I said, this nigga smart as fuck. This nigga smart than a motherfucker. Like, it's so strategic how he did that. And if you watch the interview in pieces, you can see how he plays the mind games. Because it was a lot of deflecting. It was a whole lot of, oh, but I did this and that, and I didn't know. And the salary situation. Even though you were not over the salary situation with the two female writers, which in my opinion, they were not innocent because they contributed to a lot of the fuckery that was being put out there in these shows, you knew they were getting split and you knew it wasn't right. And you called and threatened Jenny. So let's not skip over that part. That's why I wish somebody else would have interviewed him, because that interview was 20 minutes and it really should have been 2-3 hours. Because there's so much they could have at that Boogie could have asked him and he didn't. Now, somebody else that spoke out about this is Jordan. Jay Lewis of Just Jordan. Now you put Just Jordan got canceled. I ain't giving up no Big Debbie case, LOL. I don't know what he thought he was doing with that Facebook post. I told you I just don't like people that use Facebook. They're ignorant. Okay? Sorry for my Facebook users. I've just never been a fan. All right? They're ignorant old hags. I don't know why he thought this was funny. To be honest, he gives me the type that didn't even watch the full docuseries. He's just seen clips of it. So all he saw was R word, SA, and he thought it was a key, not knowing damn well that Drake was about 14, 15 years old, didn't know any better, was being isolated from his family. All he saw was the clips of him talking about it and thought it was funny. I just don't get it. Now, somebody else who I think is probably shaking in her boots and shaking in her pigtails and ponytails is Ariana Grande. That girl has limited her comments. You cannot comment on any of her posts since the docuseries has dropped. You cannot comment on none of her posts. It's limited on myself. I want to know her and Dan Schneider's relationship status. Are you guys on good terms? Because if you guys are on good terms, you're literally allowing Dan, and you're supporting Dan, somebody who has worked with people and has had a huge effect on people's lives. And your fan base, Ariana, is predominantly young girls and young children. So this isn't a good look for Ariana at all, because she hasn't spoken out about this whole situation. And I know she's mad because not only she dropped the new album recently, Wicked, her movie is coming out soon. So it's like a double whammy. I would be cussing people out at this point because it just doesn't look good for her. If I was Ariana, I would be embarrassed. That docuseries showed a whole lot of clips that were just, oh my God. Like the thing is, you don't remember how cringy and inappropriate it was because I was so young. So I'm like my mind wasn't on that type of timing now. But it's like now, looking back and thinking about it, it was some sexual ish going on. And it's like you weren't in that mentality. Somebody else who spoke out about this is Tracy Brown. You guys all saw her. She was the black parent, one of the only ones that had sense on the docuseries. I do remember her from YouTube. I used to be subscribed to her on my other YouTube channel before it got taken away from me. I used to be subscribed to her on my other YouTube channel, and I remember I used to follow her around the time that Trump got inaugurated. So I used to watch all her readings, her psychic readings. That's where I remember her from. So I do remember her from YouTube. Now, she says that her son was invited to the same party that was talked about in the docuseries. So there was a party that Peck had for Drake for his birthday, and that was one of the times that something inappropriate went down, and her son was invited, but she did not allow him to go. She was not too keen on the apology. She thought it was a whole bunch of BS. She did react to the apology as well. Her YouTube channel, you guys, is Tracy Brown, and Alexa's YouTube channel is Eat Predators. No, I think it's Alexa Nicolas. Yeah, it's Alexa Nicolas on YouTube. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to them and watch what they have to say about the whole thing too, because it's interesting to hear their perspective of it because they were there. They were there on set. So this is Alexa's channel, and of course, this is Tracy's channel. Now, she did her own readings, and she says that she saw in the cards that there's two girls that are going to bring a class action lawsuit against Dan, and that they're going to settle. I feel like Ariana's best move right now is to do the same. And the reason why I say this is because her evidence is more substantial than a lot of the characters that were on there. The stuff that they had her do, the stuff that they had her say, the video footage that's already out there on the internet, that evidence is already substantial. And it would further show that you're not in support of some of the stuff that Nickelodeon did. It might affect her career, but I feel like it might affect her career even more if she stays there and says nothing, because people will not respect that because of your fan base. Your fan base isn't a whole lot of adults. It is a good amount of adults, but it's a lot of kids. It's a lot of teens that love Ariana. I just think that would be her smartest move. Now, there has been some people that have worked with Nick that have not agreed with it and have unfollowed some platforms due to it. Nathan Kress, who played on iCarly, he unfollowed iCarly and Nickelodeon, and there's rumors that he's parted ways with the network. It's not, of course, official yet, but we'll see, especially with the revamped iCarly, which I haven't watched because I'm not a fan of revamp series. The only one I feel like I'm gonna actually check out is the Proud Family, because I heard the revamp Proud Family is good. Let me know if any of my entertainers watch the revamped version of iCarly. Please let me know, because that's the only one I actually check out. iCarly, to me, it being revamped, especially with Sam not there, it's kind of like, how is the show gonna work? Because Sam was the biggest part of the show. Like, come on now. Anyways, another person who unfollowed iCarly and Nickelodeon after Quiet on Set aired is Jerry Trainer. If you guys don't remember, that played on iCarly as well. So it doesn't seem like he's too keen on the whole situation, and he might not be coming back to the revamped iCarly. It's not confirmed yet, but him following it is a big indication that he's going to do that. Now, someone who posted something 2 days ago is Josh Peck. Now, you guys got to remember, the documentary dropped in the last couple of days. So this was posted around the last couple of days. He has not spoken out about this in support of Drake. Him and Drake have had issues in the past where he talked about in an interview at one point to where his wife ended up getting involved. Now, just to be aware, this is an old video of when him and Drake were into it.
Don't care about me. It's whatever. I signed up to be a public person. It is what it is. But here's my wife, right? Who's like getting torn down on the internet. And I'm like, she's private and she just got married. Can't you just enjoy this? And I remember that I was at the Video Music Awards and I see him there and he sees me. And I go up to him like, and this might be the most Sopranos thing I've ever done. And I look at him and I go apologize to my wife right now. And he goes, okay. And he like made a beeline for my wife. And I see him do like this whole 5-minute performance of an apology. And it was like, I was like, go apologize to my wife or something bad's gonna happen. And I was like, good for me.
That is very Soprano.
I don't care about me. It's whatever. I signed up.
That was one detail of one time they got into it. Now, this recent TikTok, to me, it basically is a joke of, I guess, people reaching out to him. Now, he's using a voiceover. This isn't his real voice. Of people reaching out to somebody and then blocking them because they haven't reached out in forever and they're just reaching out because something just came up that's popular.
If I haven't talked to you since 2023, take that as a fucking sign that you don't exist to me anymore. Damn, you fucking bug. You got sprayed with the raid. Bye. See you never. If I haven't talked to you since 2023, take that as a fucking sign that you don't exist to me anymore. Damn, you fucking bug. You got sprayed with the raid. Bye. See you never.
Okay. I just feel bad for Drake. I know a lot of people are saying, I saw in my comments, they were like, please don't pray for him because he did some things too that were inappropriate. Predatory behavior ends up being learned behavior. There's no excuse for what Drake did. He deserves punishment for what he did as well. But let's not act like he didn't go through what he went through. And a lot of people made excuses for it and made him out to be the villain. Because before we knew all of this, we just thought that he was a weirdo and that he was in a downward spiral, not knowing that this boy was abused for years at a time. I don't agree with what he did, though, and it's kind of sick what he did as well. And it became a pattern for him, sadly. Now, let me know what you guys think about some of the aftermath. I do want to do an after show only if you guys tune in and want to call in, because the after show is for you guys, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about the docuseries. What do you guys think about some of the aftermath that has happened? And who do you guys think is going to end up going the class action route with Mr. Dan and Nickelodeon? Leave your comments down below, and we're out, babies.
No personal thing.